Welcome everybody. Dustin Harris, the Appraiser Coach, in for another mini-sode. Those of you watching on the Coach Cam on YouTube can see a little bit of a different setting behind me, sitting in my hotel room. Those of you who are on audio probably are noticing a huge decrease in the quality. I apologize for that. I don't have my fancy equipment with me. Sitting in Las Vegas, Nevada. It is the day before our big mastermind, Dream Team Mastermind here in Vegas. We are at the point that we're now going to split that group into two groups. So if you are interested in traveling to Las Vegas every 3 months, I'm going to give you an excuse to do so. We are going to start meeting Monday and Tuesday. So you just have to choose one of those 2 days to be a part of the Dream Team if you wish. But tomorrow we've got a big meeting before the split. We've got 9 people coming tomorrow to that meeting, so it should be a fun one. Also got 3 in waiting that are ready to jump in when we're ready to do that new group. By the way, that will be starting in April, so plan ahead. But the reason I set this up today is really because it has much to do with what we're going to be talking about today, and that is success. And it's not necessarily the Dream Team I want to talk about today, but an experience that I had today with a member of the Dream Team, as well as a consultation that I had with another individual who's not a part of my Dream Team, but came to me for some mentoring advice. But first, I want to remind you we are sponsored by ANOW software. Folks, I love ANOW, as you know. I use it on a daily basis. My staff uses it on a daily basis, and together it helps to manage our appraisal office very, very easily. Check them out at anow.com/coach. Once again, it's anow.com/coach. Well, folks, again, I apologize for the decreased audio, and I'm sitting in my hotel room, but I had a couple things on my mind that I really wanted to get out there. I thought that they were important and basically stemmed from 2 different things. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but I went to breakfast this morning with one of my Dream Team members, and just a great guy who truly gets it when it comes to success. That's what I love about the Dream Team. These individuals are very forward-thinking. They're very successful. They are goal setters, and they're moving forward in their lives and in their businesses. And so it's always a joy to spend time with them. And I had breakfast with one of them this morning, and we talked about parts of his business. But what I really enjoyed about that conversation was talking to him about success, about his idea of success, about the fact that he had taken basically a situation that was not favorable to him and turned it into a favorable situation. He, when he first started this, as many of us do, we started with a trainer, and we went through the mentoring process. But he moved forward, and instead of going out on his own, he actually purchased the business from his mentor, and now his mentor works for him, and it's much more favorable financially for this individual, and it was fun to talk to him about that. And then when I got back to the hotel room, I had some mentoring follow-up to do. Individual that I'm mentoring actually across the seas. This is international. I'm mentoring an appraiser, and all of this is confidential, so I'm not going to go into detail about this particular situation, but needless to say, part of the mentoring today reminded me again about this success principle and this idea that sometimes, not always, but we are all human, we have this tendency to start thinking inside the box. Let me lay out for you inside the box thinking, then we'll go to a break, and then when we come back, I want to just share a couple principles that I think are important to understand as it comes down to success and what success is, okay? Inside the box thinking is this. It is the thought that a full-time job, J-O-B, as one individual that I listen to frequently calls it, those of you who listen to him know what I'm talking about. A J-O-B is somehow a secure situation. Now, I know where the mentality comes from, and it's basically that of an employee, okay, EE, an employee mentality. And that is, hey, I show up, I do my job, 9 o'clock comes around, I take my 15-minute break after 4 hours, I take my half-hour lunch, I take my 15-minute break in the afternoon, I leave at 6 o'clock, and I do that day after day after day, and guess what? A paycheck magically shows up in my mail or in my bank account every 2 weeks, and it's great. I love this job security. Folks, I cannot tell you how many times I have talked to individuals over the years and decades who have that mentality that somehow a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, with a steady bi-monthly paycheck is somehow a secure situation. I would challenge that after the break. The other mentality is that of an employer, okay, ER. And that is the responsibility that we sometimes feel to the employee because of the employee's attitude of the mentality of success, the mentality of security, the mentality of I want my bi-monthly paycheck. And somehow we as employers sometimes feel this pressure to keep that up. That sometimes it's our responsibility to make sure that bi-monthly paycheck comes in. Now, I'm not saying we don't have a responsibility there. When you choose to take on employee, you choose to take on responsibility, okay? Just like when you choose to have a child, you choose to be a parent. When you choose as an employer to hire, even if it's a contractor, you have an obligation there. It's very obvious that there's an obligation there. And I think it's important to remember that as we get into this idea of success and the law of delegation and hiring and firing and managing and all of that jazz. Okay, I'm currently in a situation where it's a bit of a challenge. I have hired somebody in the last, it's been about 3 months now. She is a temp. That's the way I hire until I'm ready to bring them on full time. When I say full time, I mean as an employee. And it's not working out, folks. I thought it would. I went through all of the hoops. It's just not working out. Now, I'm not at the point that I'm ready to let her go. Thankfully, I think there's some potential there. But what I am at the point of ready to do is to have this come to the altar, come to the fire and brimstone talk that's going to happen in the next week or so and say basically, hey, kiddo, this isn't working out. Here's why it's not working out. And if you can't step up, we're going to have to let you go. Now, my question for you, listeners, is whose responsibility is it to make sure that an employee keeps their job? I would say it's a shared responsibility. And I want to talk more about that when we come back from the break. But I want to first pause and talk to you about a way that I manage my appraisal office that makes it so much easier to be a business owner. It's a software. It's a technology. And I'm big on technology. I'm also big on the law of delegation as we're talking about today. But technology allows me to do more with less. It allows me to, pardon the cliche, but work smarter rather than harder. One of the technologies that I utilize in my office that has allowed me to do that on a regular basis is ANow software. ANow software is the ability and the opportunity for you as an employer to be able to manage your business more effectively. It's spelled ANOW.com, and you can go to anow.com/coach and start finding out what ANow can do for you. Let me just tell you this. It saves me hours every single week, folks. Check them out. ANow software, anow.com/coach. And hey, we got a brand new sponsor here today. I'm super excited. I got a call the other day from this sponsor, and at first I thought, really? I mean, you're an actual thing? And the more I found out about it, the more I was excited about it. And it's Work. WORK. Work is a sponsor here today, and I'm just grateful that they've decided to come on, and they understand what we stand for here at the Appraiser Coach. They understand that we're all about accomplishing things. Okay, so think about it this way. You're worried about your next paycheck. We're talking today about job security. You're worried about your next paycheck and where that's going to come from. Folks, what better thing to turn to than work? I mean, work is this amazing thing. It's in short supply these days, but it is an amazing thing that will allow you to get from this level to a higher level. It's basically digging in and doing what needs to be done to be successful. Folks, tired of losing sleep, wondering about paying the bills? Get Work. It is a surefire way to give you skills. All right, folks, we're back. We're another mini-sode today. We're talking about job security. And the question I posed before the break was, whose responsibility is it for job security? And I'm talking about the job security not of yourself unless you are an employee, but I'm talking here about your employees, your contractors. Whose responsibility is it? And I would say it's a shared responsibility, but okay, here's the key today if you get nothing else out of this mini-sode today, it's this. I see far too many appraisers, and this stems from the consultation that I had earlier today over email with an individual outside the country. I'm not saying she was doing this. I'm saying that there was the potential of this happening based on the way that she's moving her business model. Folks, if you live in this fear-based mentality that you as the employer are responsible for the next paycheck of your employee, I can pretty well guarantee that you're not going to last very long as an employer. Because here's what happens. You're going to train that individual, and that individual is going to become close to you, whether or not they were close to you to begin with, or whether or not they become close down the road. I can tell you, based on personal experience, that you're going to get a business relationship with that individual. And sometimes that business relationship gets in the way, damns you, if you will, from making the right decisions when it comes to being a business owner. You start to live in this fear-based mentality of, oh no, what if I can't pay my employees? Oh no, what if there's not enough work to go around? What am I going to do now? In other words, I can't promote that person. I can't pay that person what they deserve. I can't hire somebody. I mean, this plays out in so many different ways, but I see employers who are moving forward with their business, and they're successful as a business owner, and they know what the next step is. It's to hire that tier 1 or tier 2 individual. It's to hire a trainee. It's to hire another certified and bring them into your business. They know what that step is, but they stop themselves from moving forward. Why? Because they're fearful that it won't work out in the long run. Now, folks, I'm not going to sit here and guarantee you that it's always going to work out. I've had to fire with an F, fire some really key employees that was really hard to do. It was a challenge to do that, but that's part of being a business owner. Remember when we talked about being a parent? Sometimes you got to do hard things for your kids. I would say sometimes, a lot of times, you have to do hard things for your employees as well, being a business owner. Folks, I hope that makes sense. The main key I want you to get out of today's mini-sode is to stop allowing the fear-based mentality, the victimhood mentality to rule what you're going to do with your appraisal office. You're going to do some hard things. You're going to hire some people that you're going to have to fire. You're going to hire some people that were very busy in the beginning, and then 6 months later, everything slowed down and there was nothing to give them. You're going to do that, but don't allow the fear of that to cause you to not move forward in your business. It is essential as a successful individual to move forward, looking in the eye of faith, if you will. I'm not going to get religious on you. I'm just talking about visionary faith, okay? Talking about looking down the road at the possibilities, okay? Looking at your business in that mindset will help move it from where it is to where it needs to be. Thanks for joining me today. Again, I apologize for the audio. I hope you could hear everything okay, because I think the message is super important. Appreciate you joining me, folks, and we will catch you next time here at the Appraiser Coach Podcast.